Okay, and we are now lights, camera, action. We're being recorded. As always, this recording will be uploaded to YouTube as a link and then put into the instructions file for the first week of the second quarter. All right, now I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we go. Hopefully you can all see what I can see. And we'll start by looking at what you had to do last week. And I'll just make a quick note that I have reorganized the Schoology page. So all of the first quarter lessons, all the folders, week 1 through to week 7, will be held in this folder. So after today, I'll be moving this into here as well. And all the quarter 2 folders will be held in here, okay? So when you need to find the weekly folder, come into Schoology and click on the quarter 2 online folders. When you do that, okay, you'll be able to see on my screen, all the folders are there, but they'll get published week by week. They're not all updated yet, okay? It takes a lot of time to put all the information and all the links into each folder. So week 1 is available, so let's have a look at that in a moment. Okay, but just quickly, each week come into this folder, and on the Wednesday, either the Tuesday night or the Wednesday morning, I will be publishing these folders as they become available. Oh, hang on, I just did the wrong one. Let's go back. Okay, so what I've got open here is last week's instruction folder. This is quarter 1, week 7. Okay, and last week, basically, you were just giving feedback on the Flipgrid, okay, on your presentations, and you were also did a quiz. Now, the quiz was only available on the Wednesday. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at that. And the same thing will happen this quarter. There will be a quiz right at the end, and it will only be available for the Wednesday of week 7 in quarter 2, but I'll explain that a little bit later. Okay, so looking at the Flipgrid, okay, this is what you had to do. Basically, please go in and make comments on 3 other presentations, okay? And a lot of you have done that, which is fantastic. All right, so the feedback, like I said a week ago, the feedback is really important because the feedback is what allows you to improve as a presenter. Both good feedback and also constructive feedback. Both of them together give you a clear idea of where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are, and hopefully some suggestions on how to improve those weaknesses. So if you haven't done already, okay, go and watch the feedback that has been given to you by your classmates. Okay, now as I go through and grade these, I will also be giving you feedback. Now I haven't done that yet. My aim is to start doing that this week. The reason I haven't done it is because I'm still trying to create material for quarter 2. Okay, it takes a lot of time to put all that information together, and it's almost done. I'm hoping to have everything completed within the next week and a half, but I will be looking at your presentations over the next 2 weeks and grading them. So go back and check the comments. All right. So that's what you had to do last week for your presentation. And as I said, the other thing you had to do was the quiz. Okay, we did the practice quiz first, and then we did the other quiz. 3 people have not done this. Okay, those who did all of you got really high marks, so either the quiz is too easy or you guys are really good and you've learned all the material. So I'm hoping it's the second one. Anyway, well done to everybody who did do the quizzes. All of you got good results, so hopefully that means that you've learnt about the story message. And now we're going to move on, and we're going, I beg your pardon, not the story message, the visual message. But now we're going to look at the story message. So get rid of that, out of the way. Up. There we go. So now we'll look at what you have to do for this week, okay? So when you go into the Quarter 2 Week 1 instructions folder, okay, you'll see there are 2 activities in Schoology, but there's other activities you have to do as well. The first one is open up your instructions folder, read it, I beg your pardon, your instructions page, and read it. And there is one activity for you to do looking at the textbook in Schoology, but there's also another activity which is a quizzes. I'll show you that in a moment. Start by opening the instructions page. As always, you should use the instructions page as your main go-to page. Okay, this hopefully has got the full set of what you need to do every week. Full guiding instructions. That's the way I've tried to create it. If you just follow through the instructions page and do everything there and then check at the end, then you have completed all your homework. So this week, okay, the WebEx meeting right now, there is a quizzes activity, okay, the story message. There is the Schoology activity, the one that I just showed you a minute ago, which is also on the story message. And you will be doing a Flipgrid this week, okay? And the Flipgrid is called My Favorite Restaurant. All right, I'll explain all of those things in a moment. But what I've done, I've put together a weekly lesson schedule for you, and I'll quickly explain what we will be doing this quarter. This quarter, you'll be looking at the story message. And the story message is really all about the structure of your presentation. And they call it a story message because a good presentation should be like a story, okay? And there's lots of reasons for that. And those reasons you will hopefully find out as you do today's lesson. But essentially, stories are fun. Stories are easy to remember. And stories have structure. A story has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. And it has words and phrases that guide you through the story. And that's what a good presentation should be. Okay, you as the presenter, you need to set your presentation up like a story so that it's entertaining and so that the audience understands where they are in your presentation at all times. So they know if they're at the beginning, they know what's coming next, and then during the presentation they're guided through the main ideas, and then at the end of the presentation, okay, so at the end of the story, they're given the summary. They find out what the ending is. Okay, so that's why it's called the story message. And we'll be looking at all 3 parts. Okay, the introduction next week, the body over 3 weeks, because the body includes using evidence and it also includes guiding your audience using things called transitions and sequences. And finally, the conclusion. We'll be looking at all of those things during this quarter. And then, as I said in the last lesson, now I haven't actually decided if you're going to do a presentation yet. If you do a presentation, it's going to be on a country, but I'm still trying to decide whether that's asking too much, okay? There are 3 small mini presentations within this as homework, and I may just leave it there along with the end of quarter quiz. And just a quick warning, that end of quarter quiz, it will only be available on the 12th of August, okay? So in the last lesson, make sure you attend the WebEx session so that you know what the presentation, the quiz is about. All right, having said that, let's move on and have a look at what you have to do this week. And just with regard to the presentation, I will decide basically by the end of this weekend whether you will be doing a presentation or not. And if you are, I will incorporate it into the weekly lessons so that you only be doing a little bit each week. The same method that you used for your visual presentation comparing two countries. Okay, so as always, today's WebEx session will be put here. Okay, a recording will be put there. The story message. So understanding the story message. What you have to do with this, take your textbook, okay, get all the dust off it, read through pages 57 to 59, and then do a quizzes. Now the quizzes, as always, is designed to help you understand the information in the textbook, okay? The questions that I ask in the quizzes hopefully will guide you through the key points of the story message. And I'll cover them again next week, just to make sure everybody understands them. Quick warning. With the quizzes, I've set it up so that there is actually only one chance to do it, okay? So you get one chance to do the quizzes. So make sure you've read through the book carefully. You can have the book with you when you do it. In fact, you should have the book with you when you answer the questions. You get anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute to answer each question. Okay, so do that. And the idea is first you read the information in the book so you understand what the story message is. Then come back here and you're going to, I beg your pardon. Oh, I've missed something. Okay, very important. I'm going to add this to this page, but you need to know that after you've done the story message, all right, you need to go and do, I beg your pardon, it's here. No, it's not. Okay, after you have done this first quizzes activity, please leave the instructions page and then go here to using presentation software and do this. I'll put the instructions into the instructions page after I finish today's WebEx session. So it's very, very simple. Okay, it's very, very short. It's basically the activity on page 60, I think it is, page 60. Okay, yep, on page 60. All you're doing, we'll look at the preview, is reordering a speech. Okay, so when you go in, read the instructions. Okay, in the story message part of a presentation, you're looking at structure. Okay, now the structure makes it easier for the audience to remember details. It has an introduction, it has a body, and it has a conclusion. You need to read through 6 parts of a presentation and put them into the correct order. It's very, very easy, okay? But you have one chance to do it, so don't mess it up. Those 6 parts are on page 60 in your textbooks. When you start, you'll see this, hopefully. There we go. Okay. So there are the 6 parts, and all you have to do is just move them around into the correct order, okay? So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Just move them into the right order. When you're finished, you can actually check your answer, okay? I'm not trying to make this hard. I'm not trying to trick anybody. I've put in the audio so that you can listen to the speech. If you click here,
practice. Use the presentation structure. Page 60. listen to the CD and check your answers.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Spears.
Okay, so you can listen. Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Spears. Okay, so this is number one. We know this is number one. And you can actually listen and then find out which is 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Okay, but try to put them into the correct order first. And when you're finished, then you can submit. All right. Now, the key point of doing this activity is to understand the different parts of the presentation. Okay, the introduction, the body, the conclusion. And hopefully after doing the quizzes, you will be able to understand what those different parts are and how they are made. All right, so let's get back out of here. Okay, so we had the instructions. Come out of the instructions after you do the quizzes. Do this. Okay, as I said, I'll put that information into the instructions. Okay, I've got it here, but I forgot to actually write in what you have to do here. And then go to this part of the presentation. Now, on page 61 in your textbooks, there is a blank sheet called Restaurant Recommendation. And the idea is that you are going to make a short speech about your favorite restaurant. Now, this speech includes all of those 3 parts of the story message. It has an introduction, it has a body, it has a conclusion. So when you click on the Flipgrid, okay, let me just try. It'll bring you to this page, and then you just put in your student number as always. Hanukkah, I have actually used your student number. Sorry for not asking you first. I'm not going to do anything with your page except demonstrate. Oh, I beg your pardon, Hinako, I did it with you. Okay, okay, so this is what you'll see. You'll see my presentation, okay, on my favorite restaurant. So watch this, then read the instructions. Basically, fill in your textbook page, okay? Fill in details about a restaurant that you really like, a restaurant that you would recommend to your classmates. Okay, so put in details about where it is, about what's on the menu. Don't forget drinks menu and food menu and dessert. And then finally, just remind people of your 2 main points, okay? How to get there and what's on the menu. It doesn't need to be very long. I think anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes. In fact, it could even be shorter than 1 minute. It depends how quickly you read it. Practice it a few times first and then record it. Okay, now this is not a screen share recording. This is you in front of the camera recording. All right? All right, so that's, oh, just get out of that one, Hinako. Okay. So that's the Flipgrid you have to do. This will be graded, okay? There's only going to be a few things graded this quarter. That will be one of them. Okay, so my favorite restaurant will be graded, the little star. You're going to do another one on my hometown or my university, okay, which is looking at giving evidence in the body part. That will be graded. And then the conclusion, which I haven't got a star on, but the conclusion, you will also do a short presentation on the conclusion as practice, and that will also be graded. So as I said, I haven't decided if you are doing a presentation, like a full presentation yet. I'm inclined to do it because I think it's useful for you to actually do one more full presentation, so you can bring all the elements that you learned last quarter and combine them with learning about the introduction, the body, and the conclusion this quarter to have something at the end. So it's 80% likely that you are going to do the presentation, and it will be on a country that you'd like to travel to. but I'll build that into this schedule. Okay, it'll probably start from week 3 and carry through to week 6 with final presentations in week 6 so that you can give each other feedback. Okay, that's it for this week. Okay, I'm going to get out of screen share now. Oh, I'm not. One last thing, one thing you should always do, go to the end and check the homework summary. Okay, so for homework, you need to do the quizzes, reading pages 57 to 59 in your textbook, do the presentation structure Schoology assessment, and then do the My Favorite Restaurant on Flipgrid. Okay, those are the 3 things you need to do before 9 o'clock Wednesday morning next week. Okay, so now I will stop sharing. Okay, any questions? All right, you guys are very quiet. Okay, so again, welcome to quarter 2. This quarter, what I hope to do is build on your quarter 1 experience. Okay, so we'll take what you've already done with your visuals and we'll add it to the story message. Okay, so by the end of quarter 2, you'll have pretty much everything you need in terms of making and giving a really good presentation. The only thing that's missing will be the actual standing up in front of an audience. Okay, and that's the physical message, which we can't do. We can't really do that online. Okay, so that's something that you might need to practice yourself. But you will be very good at the visual message and you will understand completely how a presentation should be structured. Okay, so that's it for today. I'll stop recording now if there are no questions.